Did you guys see that now that Fuentes is back on Twitter, that there's now a war going on?
There are leftists that are running like Groyper accounts.
Yeah.
That's what you think?
The conservative war has ratcheted up once again. I haven't been on my conservative account in a little while, but I will say that things have started to get a little bad. Yeah, new challenger approaches. Let's see this. I got started with this. Jake Shields, known Jew disliker. Tim Pool is such a joke man with no principles. Last month, he told me he would have Nick Fuentes on for a debate about Israel. Later, he called and said that he didn't feel equipped for a debate and needed to find multiple Zionists for the panel. I called him back last week to see when he wanted to do it, and he ignored my calls. Yeah, I remember this. I know something about Tim Pool. You know how Tim Pool, when Russia invaded Ukraine, and he was really on the side of all Ukrainians need to roll over and shoot themselves in the head to help stop war. We need to be anti-war. That's why we need to make sure we never give any weapons to Ukraine or anyone, because that's the only good anti-war stance. Emma Vigeland of the Majority Report was talked to him about it. Talked to him about it and we remember it. He was just like, he threw his hands up and he said, I have no clue what's going on. I'm too stupid to know, to have an opinion on anything. But then obviously over time, he started to lean more into the pro-Israel thing. Or not even, I'm not asking somebody to know literally everything. I'm not asking for somebody to know the entire history of the region. I'm not even asking for people to know much like pre 1967. I really don't. You really just have to have a take about this conflict specifically for what's going on to have like any opinion whatsoever. But apparently he's just he's not prepared to even talk about that, right? Later, he called and said he didn't feel equipped to have a debate and needed to find multiple Zionists for the panel. I called him back last week to see if he wanted to do it, and he ignored my calls. Eventually, he had his employee tell me that he changed his mind. Personally, I believe a man should always keep his word, and if he doesn't, at least have the balls to talk to who you lied to. These are the brave right-wing influencers. He was too scared to have Nick on. There are a lot of Nick. I'm not sure if these are really Tim Pool viewers, but these are people in the same ideological bubble as him, and he's absolutely getting obliterated here. Holy crap. I despise men who don't keep their word. All my business is done on a handshake, but obviously I would never do business with a guy like Tim. There was this picture that he took with Elijah Schaffer. You remember Elijah Schaffer? We talked about him in the recent Blair White video that we made a couple days ago. He was standing on, for some reason he wanted to stand on his tippy toes and shoes on the damn carpet too. Yikes, man. He said he's afraid of groypers. Okay, wait, I gotta check this out. I gotta check this out because there's been a back and forth between him and these other guys, and things are getting a little hairy. Tim quote tweeted him and said, Jake Shields got invited on IRL and refused to come unless we invited Nick because he said he couldn't handle it alone. If that's the case, then we can do a debate with him and Nick. No one would do it. Sorry, we told Jake that. Now he's crying about it. You made your own bed. What a whiny freaking baby. We kept stuff private and worked our asses off for him. And this is how he handles it. Cry more. Yeah, nobody wants to. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it makes a lot of sense that nobody wants to do a show like that with Nick. You don't want to bring him on YouTube and give him more views like that on YouTube. The only people who really want to do that are other conservatives, right? So I don't know, maybe you can have other like left-wing and right-wing conservative, but even left-wing and right-wing conservative, sorry. You can have like pro and anti-Israel conservatives on, but even them, they don't really want to be affiliated with him like that. That's a death blow to your career, especially since these guys are trying to make it on the Fox News, a lot of them. Get those brand deals, get those business deals, get a lot of money. You're a dork and a liar. You invited me on and said how about me and Nick come on? You said yes, then got scared and didn't have the balls to tell me and ignored my calls and had Cassandra tell me. I'm just going to be honest with you. This really doesn't seem that serious. What, somebody who works for him told you that a talk wasn't going to happen, and he ran to Twitter to be like, this guy's so mean to me. He didn't have the balls to tell me himself. Well, he told you. Like, I don't know. I really don't think this is something worth writing a soliloquy about how much you hate Tim Pool over it. I don't know. Maybe you just hated him to begin with. Gotta say, JK ain't lying. He was talking about this from This to me, last few weeks, I saw it unveil, and here I am, and I'm here for the ratio deposit. Oh no, he did ratio him too. Oh no, dude. I hate guys that won't keep their word. Oh my god, he keeps saying it. He's like a broken bot, man. You're literally crying because somebody didn't call you back. He gave me his word, then had his assistant call. I hate liars. This is what the fuck is happening? These crazy people, man. Do you wear a little beanie on your cock? What's happening, man? Scared of Nick. Dude, letting all the Fuentes fans back on was such a horrible mistake by Elon. Look at all this, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, so then Tim wrote, Jake Shields is a crybaby begging to come on my show like a little bitch. Sucks, doesn't it? Apparently this got a lot of play, dude. 11,000 likes. God dang. Not the Indiana Jones beanie off. The radicalization has just been slowly creeping over a while. Not all of these people are just straight up like, we need more neo-Nazi talking points. We need more neo-Nazi talking points. We freaking need them, man. Please, I'm begging you. We need to hear more of them. What the hell is that? Is because you didn't stand by your word? Is anything Jake Shields alleged a lie? No. Who are Chief Trumpster? Why do these people follow? Who is this guy? Jake actually replied to this and went, Tim, I never asked to come on the show because I think it's boring. I have at least a dozen emails from 3 separate booking agents of yours. I told them all no every time. I only agreed to do it with Nick because I wanted to piss people off and also help Nick get back on big shows. You lie like a Jew. Oh! Oh, well, there it is. No, that's crazy. How'd that one work out? Excusez-moi? Well, this is just who these people are. It's not really surprising. It's just funny when you get to finally see it. Tim crying. Just show the emails then, Jake. He could. It's true. He could show the emails then. All right, dog. Help Nick get back on big shows. Yeah, honestly, it's really nice that he's not on really big shows. If he can, it's really nice that he's not on big shows. A lot of people are just kind of done with him, right? I think he's interesting in moderation. But all this stuff surrounding him is really funny looking at. It's more funny looking at all the crazy people that surround him than him himself, in my personal opinion. Only when he's crying about something, which we are going to take a look at. Tim literally just quote to is like, you lie like a Jew. This is Jake Shields. You're reaching, Tim. Seriously, bro. You're better than this. And he just quote tweeted with the same thing again. Oh, I see. We know what's under the beanie. Nice. Most people in the last 6 months have noticed one group lies more than all others. You are aware, but you just want the money. This is a great website that you're putting together here, Elon. I honestly don't even know why the advertisers don't want to come back. I don't even understand why the advertisers don't want to come back. You do lie like a Jew, Cope. So we need to check out what happened on Tim Pool now. We need to see what happens. Now, if you remember, Tim Pool did actually have Fuentes on when Kanye came with him. Kanye helped bring Fuentes back into the mainstream, and help ruin Donald Trump's ability to be president again, which is really funny. That he's just like a nasty stain on anyone that he touches. But yeah, he was on the show before. It seemed like Tim Pool doesn't want to bring him back. I don't know if he's scared or whatever, but.
Also, thoughts on the Tim Pool versus Jake Shield panel stuff?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Tim Pool's just like a total joke. Tim Pool invited Jake Shields and said, you can bring anybody you want. And Jake Shields said, I'll bring Nick Fuentes. Then Tim Pool said, oh, we have to debate people. And we gave them names. They're like, no, not that one. No, not that one. Oh, no one will do it. And then they just ghosted Jake Shields. So those people are always playing games. I'm so sick of playing.
So you think that he lied about no one wanting to do it, or was no one actually going to do it? That's the interesting thing that I want to know. Because probably I would really expect that it's true that no one was going to do it.
the fundamental right and left sort of hold similar ideology. They're going, anyone who doesn't call it a Jewish problem is a Shabbos goy or is fighting against the system.
Wait, what is happening? What are they talking about?
I'm saying this because you are on YouTube and I'm not going to get you in trouble. I want to frame it like this. The reason why I believe people like Joel Berry or Seth Dillon or people are seeing what they call a rise in anti-Semitism, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and why I believe a genuine, you mentioned this earlier, I'll use your own words, like these dangerous Jewish conspiracies are sort of like on the rise, or what they're explaining. The reason why I think some of these ideas are finding themselves a home in both more fundamental left and fundamental right, and why the move is going against just being anti-Israel into...
Okay. He's going crazy over there.
Being against Jewish institutional power is because you have multiple cultural wars going on right now. And I want to just point out, I'm not sharing my own personal views or the views of the show, but this is what I believe from looking at it is happening.
Oh no, here we go.
Is you have like a war of woke, you have the war of the United States, I guess you could be like banning TikTok, banning our constitutional amendments. These are big issues. These are domestic problems with corruption in our government and foreign lobbying. When you talk about wokeness, etc., what people are seeing is whether you're against the Zionism problem and you're on the right side of the pro-Israel protest and you don't like those people and you see them as Jewish and Zionist, and then you see the left woke, you see them as communist, Bolshevik, aka Jewish origin or Jewish funded, like Soros suppressed. What you're seeing is two sides, Jewish influenced, Jewish origin, Jewish funded, fighting against each other. You don't support either, and you go, oh, we don't have an Israel problem, we have a Jewish problem. And I think that's like the Kanye thing. He was on your show. That's what I've seen, is that, so then people that are talking about Zionism are talking about one half, people that are talking about woke are talking about one half, and they disagree on woke and disagree on Zionism, but they both see a problem with Jewish-led, Jewish-influenced and funded ideas and ideologies that are subverting and undermining society. So then they go, so the people come out of the mainstream right, mainstream left, that's confusing, mainstream right, mainstream left, and they go, hold up, these Jews are getting us to fight against each other, and they're getting us to disagree on different issues, but in the end, what do we have a problem with? It's these Jewish bankers, these Jewish media outlets, yada, yada. And so then they come here, this is why you're seeing the fundamental right and left sort of hold similar ideology.
Similar ideology? How? Well, like, where's the similar idea? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Absolutely in no way. Okay, like please tell me where on the fundamental, what does he even mean by fundamental left have a problem with Jewish people? Listen, a lot of people on the left have a problem with states. Status policies and state-run organizations and states' influence when it comes to when it comes to what they foist upon human beings and how they use that power to harm people. It's states. Like Israel at the end of the day is simply just a state. It's a country. It is a country that is using their foreign influence to be able to get what they want geopolitically. But that has nothing to do with Jewish people. China's doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing. Italy, Germany, Russia's doing the same thing. Yeah, it has nothing to do with Jews when you criticize Israel. Now, you can try to criticize, now you can go against Jewish people when you come after Israel, but then, yeah, you're just simply anti-Semitic. That's not what we're talking about. That's what he's talking about. Wait, is he saying the centrist position is actually being anti-Semitic?
Going, anyone who doesn't call it...
Yeah, like the left-wing position being anti... Wait, is he... Wait, apparently, so the left-wing position is being anti-Israel. The right-wing position is being anti, like, Jewish influence. And the centrist position, the real big brain position, is just being anti-Jews. All right, dog. That's not surprising coming from a guy like this. What the fuck I would just walk into? There's a Tim Pool show. That's what. Not surprising.
A Jewish problem is a Shabbos goy or is fighting against the system.
Oh, what? Dude, listen, that's how you know these people are so culty, dude. They're using language that you've never even heard of. I've never heard of this. Oh, what did he say? Did he say a Shabbos goy? Shabbos goy? What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? So yeah, this is the guy that Tim Pool is having on his show right now to just have like a funny, chummy like buddy thing with. I personally, if I have women working at my workplace, I wouldn't want a guy who's known, like he's known to sexually assault many women. That's his whole thing, is assaulting women. I personally wouldn't bring him on my show personally, but I mean, I guess me and Tim are just a little different in that way.
Or they're fighting for the system, and it's our prerogative to try to wake the people up on our side. So that's why they're really like, ardent about it, and just like, hey, you guys are all fighting left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, Zionist versus anti-Zionist, capitalist.
Guys, we have to. Oh my gosh. I see bro thinks he's like Karl Marx, but well, actually, I was gonna be like Karl Marx, but against Jews, but actually that's just Karl Marx, right? He's gonna be like, the people need to come together to find our real enemy. They're trying, the bourgeois is trying to keep us down. What do you, oh man. I'm so sick of these people, I swear. My man is blabbering. He was German after all.
Versus communist, but you're all still just fighting Jews. And that's what I read. And
fuck.
You guys are all fighting left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, Zionist versus anti-Zionist, capitalist versus communist, but you're all still just fighting Jews. And
what the fuck? Wait, is the world, I don't know, man. I was gonna be like, is the world ran by Jews? But I guess to this person, like they really are, right? Communism, it's just like the fight against Jews. What the hell? This is like advanced mental illness where like literally everything in your life revolves around how much you hate Jewish people. I don't know if this guy even wakes up in the morning and doesn't think about Jewish people. Do you think that he's sleeping in his bed and the sun comes through his blinds and hits him directly in the eyes and he wakes up like Jews? You think that this dude must be checking under his bed for Jews before he goes to sleep? What's happening? Does he think that like some little Jew like from Remy, like some little Jew like Remy from Ratatouille controlled him when he was working at the Blaze that made him grab that woman's breasts? You think that's you think it was the Jews that made him an alcoholic that made him an alcoholic druggie that made him cheat on his wife by assaulting women at work? I bet the Jews did this. The Jews put the sun in my eyes. The Jews made my wife leave me. The Jews are why I can't have a girlfriend. They did this to me. I run out of deodorant. It must have been the Jews, obviously. Walmart, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but Walmart isn't 24/7 anymore, and it must be because of them. It must be because of them. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? But in all seriousness, guys, I don't like that Walmart isn't. Can we a little break? I don't like how Walmart isn't 24/7 anymore. I don't like that. I know it's probably better for the workers, I guess, but like I don't like that. It's had a measurable impact on my life, and in not a good way. I feel like sometimes because I get off of work a little late. I'm gonna be honest. Mods, I spill my juice. Mods, help. Mods, the Jews took my juice. Right? I hate shopping in daylight. I don't hate shopping in daylight, but I feel like sometimes I get off of work late. Like I stop streaming later sometimes. And I really want to just hang out. I want to go eat something. Maybe we need like a little extra ingredient, and Walmart being 24/7 worked out so well. Walmart being able to go to Walmart at like 1 a.m. and be able to just hang out and like pick out something that I really needed, do the self-checkout and get out of there was so good. It was everything to me. Yeah, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., it was everything to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really think it matters being open tonight. It's not like ever just busy and everyone stocks anyways. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are going to be stalking anyways. Might as well just stalk while I can still get something. Or shut down a couple lanes so you guys can have space to stalk or something. You know what I mean? Have like lights on the floor that have, you could, oh my gosh, can you even imagine? So there's like stoplights or something. So when you like all the floors have like lights and stuff, and there's lanes, and those are the lanes that the workers walk that you can't walk in, so they're able to get to where they need to go without having to worry about some weirdo sitting there. And so like and they light up on the floor. Like the Walton family definitely has enough money to do this shit. Okay, they just don't want to. And so they can have their spots to walk, and I can have my spots to walk. And when when like one of the workers are dragging one of the pallets around, it lights up, and it's actually a stoplight. It's like a real stoplight inside of the store. And so you have to, you have to yield to them coming through, and you can still shop and they can still stock, and nobody really gets in each other's way. Yeah, like, or shut down half the store or something. But I really want to buy. I want to buy something. Let me give you my money. Nobody is open anymore. Nobody's open late anymore. And honestly, it makes me sad for us. Hey, I got any night owls in chat who feel me? I got any night crawlers in chat who feel what I'm putting down right now? Because I'm telling you, when Walmart, is it just me? No, one in chat, if Walmart not being 24/7 anymore, or at least like a 1 a.m. closing time has kind of changed the flow of your life a little bit. I'm not like it's completely like drastically changed. I'm just like a little bit. The way you live your life changes like a little bit. Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. I'm glad this isn't just me. I get off at 11:30, and I used to shop at Kroger or Walmart late. Right? My Kroger stops being open. Sorry, my Walmart stops being open at 11 p.m. 11. Dog, some of us have other lives. Some of us got different types of lives, man. What the hell? I'm begging you. Used to shop at Dollar General late, but it closed down. Oh, this is actually war, dude. This is actually war on working class people, if you think about it. They stopped being 24 hours 3 years ago. Yeah, it was during the pandemic. Is when it all happened. That's when it all came crashing down. This is actual class warfare. I don't know, like, really, these people genuinely believe that Jews do everything. Like, I don't know if he was, my question is, if you actually believe something this fucking stupid, wouldn't Jewish people be essential to how the world runs? Like, how does the world work if you get rid of them? Like, if this guy is able to do his Holocaust too, well, now what? Because apparently the Jews do everything. They do everything. You look anywhere and it's the Jews at work, right? You've heard of men at work? Get ready for Jews at work. Like, what? How does the world function without them now? Right? Like, apparently they run the banks and the schools and the economy. They run social studies and academia. They, like, you can work for like a small business, but that's probably ran by them too. And telecommunications and the news and TV shows and Hollywood. Like everything. They run video games as well. That's why all the women are ugly and their boobies aren't as big as they used to. Right? They run food. That's why they be putting microplastics in the food. They do immigration. They run the government. They probably run you. Oh my gosh. Well, I am getting my Soros bucks, right? John Fetterman would say I'm getting paid by Soros to say that Israel isn't that cool. So maybe you're right. If you ask John Fetterman, if you ask these fucking weirdo genocide denying freaks like Fetterman, he would tell you that the Jews actually run the fucking anti-Israel protests. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're cooking. You're right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like well, I feel like the world. You know what? Can someone have? It's like you know that picture of Atlas you holding up the world. Just replace that with like some skinny Jewish boy wearing his yarmulke, and actually instead of hating Jews, you should be thanking Jews. You know, every time you go to your local bank, you should be like, thank you, Jewish people, thank you. There should be a menorah-shaped shrine at every single place of business, honestly, that you could donate to your local Jewish people and tell them thank you. Thank you. Because honestly, the world wouldn't tick without them. They make the world go round, apparently, to these fucking people. What would you do without them? Yeah. Yeah, can't live without them. We can live with them. We've been doing it for what, like 6,000 years? We can live with them. But it seems like we honestly can't live without them. Thankfully, the humble nature of the Jewish people allows them to do the hard work that no Christian or Muslim ever wants to do, or any atheist either. That they go in and do all the hard work of running society, apparently, sure, to these people. And you know, there's the thankless, and all these people do is be mean to them. So honestly, you should be thanking them. What a dumbass, dude. What an absolute loser. Yeah, he's a spoiled child. He really is a spoiled child. He really is. I walk by my local synagogue and I throw all the money that I got from my last stream at them, and I say thank you. You know what's crazy is that if and when white people become the minority in the country, they would not be the model minority. You think that's what really makes him mad? Yeah, that's so funny. He has the same ideology of Imperial Japan, who thought some people didn't know, Imperial Japan actually had almost the same worldview that Nazi Germany did about Jewish people. The only difference is Germans thought Jews controlled the world, but it was a bad thing. And Imperial Japan thought Jews controlled the world, but it was actually badass, and they want to do it just like them. They wanted to do it too. So they were like, "Whoa, really?" Hitler was like, "And the Jews, they control the world," and they were like, "Yo, badass! I want to do that too." Oh, it's so funny. Oh, these people are hilarious, I swear. I want a piece of that action. I want a piece of the pie. Honorable Warriors. You know, the funny thing about it is that's what actually led them to like invading all of Eastern Asia too. They saw, okay, so when the US went to Eastern Asia and forced Japan and forced China open for trade, we didn't necessarily do the same to Korea. But Japan was like, it really sucked that the US did it, but it must have been really cool from their end. They must have did it and they made a whole lot of money. Like Japanese people were under the boot of American oppression, and they were like, that's a good idea. And then they did it to Korea too. And so that's when a lot of the Japanese oppression of Korea started. That's how it all began. Is that they saw America doing it and they were like, that's badass. That's them Japanese people. They're quick learners. That game recognized game. They're quick learners. And so they were like, let's actually do that to them. We got this. Yeah, they took a look at the oppression. They were like writing notes. Okay. Wait, it's epic. Yeah. What a dumbass dude. I hate these people. I swear.
And that's what I read and what I see. And again,
you think Tim is squirming in his seat right now after all this stuff? He doesn't want to get banned. Bro cares about money above anything else.
I'm going to point out to your YouTube censors, that's not the views of the show or myself or anyone in particular.
People are saying
that's what people on the fundamental right and left are saying. And
I bet that's not your views, brother. I think
people like Seth Dillon and Joel Berry, who are vocal, pro-Jewish people that are Christian and whatever, are getting confused about, is that a lot of people that are stuck in the dichotomy of left and right or one of these fights aren't really seeing where these guys are coming from. And to them, it just seems like racist hatred. But these people are feeling like they're trying to liberate their own party and maybe even find universal peace by a common issue. So that's...
Was he talking about like Haas and is he talking about like Haas and Dinkel? Who are the people crossing the aisle to neo-Nazis?
That's my best. Maybe you disagree with me, but that's my diagnosis of the current social problem.
I do indeed disagree.
I agree. That's what
Anti-Semitism
they're
is rising.
saying. I think your assessment is completely correct. I think the idea is bad, and it's going to harm these people.
Completely correct. This Tim Pool guy's, he's out of his damn mind.
I think
maybe he never had it.
I think the idea is bad, and it's going to harm these people in the long run because it's pointing their work efforts into a direction that won't do anything for them. I think if they were to start a business, work out, exercise, eat healthy, get away from the cities, I'm not saying go live on a farm and have chickens, but that's a good start. If they found a way to actually just build up their families and their lives, they could find themselves wealthy, successful, and with great political influence. Instead, what they're doing is they're going online and accusing an ethnic group of being the root of the ideology or the progenitor of the conflict between them, which won't actually make their lives better.
Well, look what happened to Nick Fuentes. He tried, though.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I think he's going to say that neo-Nazis, like Fuentes and them, are just like commies because they're cringe losers who blame one guy for all of their problems. Because the commies, they blame the man and the capitalism. And the Nazis, they blame the Jews. And so that's why they're all losers at the end of the day. And that's why they are the real biggest brand of boys. I guess that's going to be his cope for why he acts the way he does. I
mean, I think it actually makes me sad to see people depersoned on either side of the political spectrum. But Nick Fuentes actually makes me genuinely sad because I went to dinner with him one time in Chicago, non-political, just like you'd meet up with anybody, and I got to talk to him about his life. I won't say anything here.
I really don't think you meet up with people like that. But you had something. You were there for a reason, dog. You were there. They were there for a reason. I'm so sad for Nick. I remember the last time we were talking about him, he was like, his life actually sucks. Like, people are always mean to him. Like people can't be associated with him unless they're like tainted, right? Like, things aren't necessarily going that well. It was a Grindr hookup. That's crazy.
Just a normal guy. Like, just a normal guy, nice guy, well-mannered, very respectful to the people. You know, his last name's Fuentes. I always thought that's funny. He's the face of the white supremacy movement to the left. His last name's Fuentes. It's not a very white name. But, I talked to him, and I really believe that he believes...
I don't know. Listen, you gotta be careful. I've met you don't know Hispanic people if you don't think that they can be white supremacists. I'm going to tell you that. I love them, though. I love Hispanics. We love them.
What he thinks about this issue. And I think what you said is true. I think that he's actually intellectual. He understands his prognosis. I'm sure you guys disagree. But I don't think that the way he's been painted and the reflection of him has been fair. And I think that adds to a lot of the conspiracy around Jewish people and things. People that try to point out the real problem. And I think he's been pretty accurate early on a lot of diagnoses of things. When they use his followers and what random bots will say on the internet to define what he says, I think that's my point. A lot of the way people are treating this adds to more of the issue, because the way the media presents this issue makes people further think, oh, Jews are in control of the media. It is a Jewish problem. And it becomes more concerning. And I have to be so careful in how I word this.
Here we go.
Whatever has happened is not going to switch back unless powers that be create a large global event like a reconstruction. I think too many people see the problem as a Jewish power problem and not an Israel problem. And I think that's going to be the fastest growing side of the left and the right currently. And the gatekeepers on both sides are not talking with these people. They're shaming them.
They're making it worse.
They're calling them idiots and racists and anti-Semites. And instead of addressing the concerns they have about Jewish power, look, if Jewish power is not there, then prove it and tell them. And you don't have to debate them. Debate me, bro. They don't have to go on your show. You don't have to platform them. You owe them nothing. But please, if these people are wrong, disprove them.
How?
Well, that's not up to me. I'm saying if you're saying they're stupid and they're wrong, you have to prove they're wrong. But by calling them names, you're emboldening them. So if they're dangerous and they're a threat and they're going to cause problems, like, I'm trying to be as serious as I can here because I'm not always a serious guy.
Well, it's not about like causing problems. It's about killing people. Right? That's the thing that we really don't want them to do. Like, killing people and encouraging other people to kill people through their words and their actions. I don't know. How do you prove them? I don't know. I mean, you just look through all the stuff that they talk about. It's just simply wrong. What they mean, it's just like, this is how you know a lot of these people are just absolutely brain dead. When they're like, oh, a Jew controls this. What they mean by Jewish is that is that their great uncle on their mom's side was the great uncle on their mom's side was Jewish. And that's why, and they found out that he was Jewish and he visited Israel once. And so that's why this guy is Jewish. And then they'll put like the Star of David on their name and then give you a big list about like a big scary list and be like, oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, OMG. Oh, isn't this so crazy? Of course. The thing is, these guys have been disproven so many times on like over and over and over again. It like disproving them isn't the issue. It's about not letting them convince other people that they're right.
This meme is very real.
Not his opinion, though. Definitely not his opinion, though. But he's very passionate about this opinion. It's not his opinion, though.
I'm retarded too, so it's like hard to explain myself sometimes. But if the gatekeeper, so it's like hard, I'm trying to be as serious as I can here because I'm not always a serious guy. I'm retarded too, so it's like hard to explain myself sometimes.
Chat, can we make that a soundbite? That go kind of crazy when somebody subscribes.
They're dangerous and they're a threat and they're going to cause problems. Like I'm trying to be as serious as I can here because I'm not.
That could be a crazy like subscribe soundbite.
As I can here.
Wait, let me see.
As serious as I can here because I'm not always a serious guy. I'm retarded too. So I'm retarded too. So.
Oh wait, this one's good. This one goes kind of nutty. I'm gonna be honest here.
I'm not always a serious guy. I'm retarded too. So
that one goes kind of nutty. I'm gonna be honest. You gotta play that one with the Alex Jones one. I hate the white nationalist haircut so much. It helps them out. It helps them out. Especially when that hairline starts to get greatly replaced. It's important.
it's like hard to explain myself sometimes, but if the gatekeepers on both the left and the right, the establishment media and the establishment media on the right, really believe that these people are disgusting anti-Semites, that they are going to cause a world war, they're going to cause another Holocaust, we don't want to see anybody dead, and that they're tearing apart our country, and they have a very false and vitriolic and disgusting ideology, then can you please do more than calling them anti-Semites and racist and taking Cookie Monster jokes out of context? Also, fuck you. Sorry, I shouldn't cuss on YouTube, but F you if you think Cookie Monster jokes offend you. You're too weak. These gatekeepers have lost, and the problem...
Just so you know, if you don't know what he's talking about by Cookie Monster jokes, Nick had somebody comment on his Nick had somebody give him money and then be like, well, I don't think the Cookie Monster could eat 6 million cookies in that many years. And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe you're right. You know, it was just some dumb fucking bullshit about him doing he was joking about Holocaust denial, which he genuinely believes, but he was joking about it on his stream, and a lot of people use it as like, obviously this guy's a fucking dumbass and a Holocaust denier, and he always gets mad when people use that. He always gets mad when people say something about it because he was like, I'm joking, I was a meme, I'm memeing, I'm just memeing. It's just a funny meme, it's just a funny joke, come on.
Problem is now they've lost so much power. You could be a guy with 6-7 million followers, one of the most influential guys like Ben Shapiro, just getting roasted and ratioed no matter what you post on any social media platform by now the left and the right under your post.
What? Oh my gosh, the Jews have lost so much power. Ben Shapiro is getting ratioed on Twitter. Okay, you fucking dumbass. Have you ever gone outside in your life? Guys, look, the Jews have lost so much power. Ben Shapiro's getting ratioed. The ADL's getting ratioed. No, the Fourth Reich is coming. The ratios are getting worse. Are you sure that that's what's getting? Are you sure that the ratios are really getting worse, or is just Twitter getting worse? It's curious how that works out. He a fan? He really is. He is a real freaky ass fascist. You're so. Oh my! He is a fan. You're right. He is freaky. He a fan. Need to stay their ass inside. Hey. That's a 1488. Freaky ass Nazi. Freaky yes, Nazis gotta stay their ass inside. Hey. He not, they not like us. They not like us.
I never thought I'd see the day.
It's fake. Some of it's real.
Some of it is fake, but I think I talk to people, and a lot of people think this stuff.
I think Fuentes has fake fans. I think we have talked about this before.
Oh, he's so
I think
mad.
there are people who go online claiming to be fans of Fuentes, but try desperately to make it so that nobody wants to associate with him by being violent intentionally.
I could believe that 100%.
Oh, actually, when you experience Fuentes and his fans, it's actually a psyop by the feds or by leftists to make Fuentes look bad, and all of the Nick Fuentes fans are really actually really cool guys, like that guy who threatened to shoot up CPAC in Florida, and when the cops found him, they found him with like 10 terabytes of CP on his computer. Like those guys you don't see like making a ruckus on Twitter. Those Fuentes fans, those are the ones that we love. Isn't that right, chat? Average Groiper moment. It's all a fed up, dude. Actually, anytime I see something I don't like, it's a fed up. I remember I was at the I was at Walmart the other day, and I parked next to the I was at the Walmart the other day, and I parked next to the cart corral, and I came back out after I bought whatever I wanted, and you know what I saw? A cart that hit my car, just like not in the cart corral, and I was like, holy shit, it's the feds. I got out of there as soon as possible. The feds hit my car with a cart. The feds made my last girlfriend break up with me. I remember I pissed myself in the 5th grade in the middle of class. Everyone laughed. It was definitely the feds who sabotaged my bladder. It sucks. Stay safe out there, dude. I'm doing my best. Thank you.
What do they believe?
The followers?
Yeah.
I'm saying that there are people who are masquerading as followers of Fuentes who hate what he thinks, hate who he is, and they're doing it to make sure that no one will platform Nick.
That's hard
That's
to
a
believe.
lot of work.
You think if that were true, then Nick foments some of the most vile people. Yeah. I don't think that I watched Nick debate Destiny, parts of it. I've seen him give debates. He has coherent thoughts. I think he's wrong on a lot of things. That's fine. But I think when he argues, he's talking about here's what happened in history and here's what I think. Then his followers go online and start sending vile, awful things to people, which I won't repeat. I'm like, I don't think those are actually fans of his, because all they're doing is ensuring that no show will ever have him on.
Or that's just what they believe. Or that's what he believes and what they all believe. They're just less articulate. Have you ever thought about that? A random fan of a political commentator is probably less articulate than the commentator themselves that's media trained for years. It's crazy how that works out. Coherent thoughts. Yeah. Yo, this Nazi, he's got real coherent thoughts. I'm going to be honest. Tim Pool be listening to Fuentes bobbing his head like this guy's spitting.
If those are actually his fans, then he's a victim of his own following.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to Hitler too, but
I think that they're probably genuine.
Well, then
a lot of them are teenagers.
Then he's destroyed himself. There was a period where he asked his followers to stop spamming us because we literally were like, we get attacked relentlessly by people claiming to be fans of his. And he was like, guys, what are you doing? Stop. They don't. So you go to any...
what do you mean? Can you because I'm going to be fair and just like hear you out here. They don't?
Wait, so when they didn't stop, he didn't think, oh, Fuentes fans suck. He thought, they must be feds. Yeah, that beanie's working in overtime. You think his beanie is kind of like a supercharger on a car? Like it helps him think more. That's why he doesn't want to take it off. It's like NOS. It helps his brain work better. If he didn't have it, he'd be slowing down a lot more. His brain's overheating now.
What do you mean by they're fake, and who would be behind this? Like, is it a
That's what I was trying to find out.
Leftists?
But what does that mean, leftists?
There are leftists that are running like Groiper accounts.
Yeah.
That's what you think?
Of course.
It is a fact that leftists run sock puppet accounts. That's not in dispute.
Okay.
It is a fact that there have been people on the right and the left who have made accounts masquerading as the opposing side to make them look bad. That's
like every account online that claims to be an Asian woman and a black woman. Half of those accounts are just run by racist white boys in Ohio specifically.
That's been known about for a long time. In fact, we know the U.S. government does the exact same thing.
Are there people who pose as fans of yours who do that? They do that?
I would imagine.
Beanie Groiper? 69420?
The idea. So you genuinely think that leftists aren't trying to get Nick banned?
Well, I don't think that they're running Groyper accounts trying to do that. No.
You don't think that a leftist would make a fake account and then say a whole bunch of really awful things that Nick never said so that Nick gets banned?
No, I don't.
No. Dude, that's crazy. Not even his insane lackeys are keeping up with his wild cope about Fuentes. This is actually genuinely remarkable cope coming out from Tim. No, dude. I promise it's not the things that he actually says and believe in the audience that he cultivates. It has to be leftists spending literally every single day running Groyper accounts that make him look bad. And they spend all their time trying to get him banned by having an audience, by pretending to be an audience member. When they're actually not him. Dude, these people dedicate their lives to being Nazis, man. You can't. It's so hard to fake it. It's actually so. I'm telling you this, okay? There's a reason why there's a push from people to have Hollywood have actors for certain roles, act in certain roles. Like when you have an autistic role, they want an autistic actor to be there. It's really hard to pretend to be autistic. In that same vein, when you need like a mentally ill teenage neo-Nazi, you need to pretend to be one, like act like one. There is no better source than to just have a mentally ill teenage neo-Nazi play that role. It's so hard to be an inorganic Fuentes fan. It's so hard to pretend to be an inorganic Fuentes fan. These people's entire lives revolve around this. Their entire accounts revolve around this. You can check their likes, their retweets. They're saying stuff that you have never heard of in your entire life. They're giving you quotes that you've never heard of in your entire life. They have a lingo that takes a lifetime to be able to learn. That takes at least like multiple years of dedicated learning to be. Yeah, they're using ancient slurs. You cannot fake this like this. You just can't. You have to imbibe in this stuff for so long for you to even begin to pretend to be one of them. Actually, you know what actually disproves that is that the feds did actually try and do this. There was one story. I'm making fun of his Fed thing, but there is one story where federal agents back, especially during the end of the McCarthy era in the United States, tried to infiltrate communist book clubs to be able to see what they were talking about. But it required so much reading and so much insular knowledge that only they knew through years of being inundated that they couldn't possibly be able to break through without looking like a fake inorganic person who has no clue what they're talking about and ultimately suspicious. So they got kicked out and they wrote a report and they're like, dude, it's hard to get in there. We have no clue what the hell they're even saying. Like half the words that they say, we don't even know what's going on. At the end of the day, it's just more likely for somebody to be actually a crazy person into it than somebody pretending to be a crazy person into it. Yeah, they have deep lore. Yeah, we don't need to misquote them. We just need to quote them. Yeah.
Think so.
Okay, well, they do that. It's a fact.
As under like sock accounts of his fans, I don't buy that. No.
But it is a fact. This happens. How
do you know that though?
So first of all, being from the hacker community and hanging out at many different hacker spaces and in social engineering specifically, being at Occupy Wall
I was there in hacker spaces. Okay, buddy.
Street and in the direct action meetings, I have watched them run sock puppet accounts. I have been in the IRC chats where they do this intentionally. I've not seen anyone say, I'm going to make a Groyper account and attack Nick Fuentes, but I'll tell you this. The idea that Nick or everyone else is immune to sock puppetry is an absurdity. We know it's a common activist psyop tactic. We know the U.S. military has been doing this for a long time. We know that Barrett Brown ran a group called Project PM, which uncovered the U.S. Air Force buying sock puppet accounts from U.S. private actors. So my point is, knowing this is a common practice among activist groups and among private security contractors, the idea that the people who go on and send rape threats to someone are legitimate Nick fans, if that's true, then I understand why Nick is banned from everywhere. Totally get it. But
I love it how this is a man trapped in a fake world, and then sort of like kind of like a fist-sized portal into the real. He's in the painted world, and then a fist-sized portal back to the real world opens up, and he looks through and sees reality for the first time, and he just can't believe it. He cannot believe it. He can't believe his own eyes when he sees it. dude, look at her face. She's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? What she's like, what is he on about? This guy is going crazy. This guy's lost his mind. Not stairs and white woman.
I actually think when I watch Nick debate Destiny, for instance, or Nick
I was in social engineering classes.
Speaking with Milo or anything like that, I'm like, here's a guy who genuinely believes what he thinks that I disagree with. And then you look at a follower sending death threats to someone's children and rape threats to their children. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that person actually likes Nick because they're damaging.
Can I say this? So as knowing Nick personally, I know that Nick condemns all calls of violence, like anyone here on this table.
Then why would
any rape threats? Well, listen to me. I think there's something, like, there's really an important lesson in this. There's something really important. I blame the gatekeepers of the right-wing movement for the toxicity of many of the anonymous accounts that follow Nick more than I would ever blame Nick, because it is them who, instead of giving Nick a platform.
Do you think that this is just them trying their best not to get shitted on by Nick fans because they didn't want to be like, they didn't want to be bombed, like literally bombed, and also like dislike bombed and comment bombed?
Calls of violence, like anyone here on this table.
Then why would
any rape threats? Well, listen to me. I think there's something, like, there's really an important lesson in this. There's something really important. I blame the gatekeepers of the right-wing movement for the toxicity of many of the anonymous accounts that follow Nick more than I would ever blame Nick, because it is them who, instead of
Dude, the cope is so crazy. Our golden Nazi boy, he couldn't do anything wrong. He's so nice. I went to dinner with him. When he talked to Destiny, he seemed like he was making such good points. How in the world could a guy who makes jokes about burning women alive and having sex with monkeys ever possibly have an audience full of people who say bad things?
Giving Nick a platform pushed Nick into the recesses of the internet. And he's made a resurgence, and good for him on that, because if his ideas were false, they would have proved them wrong already, and he would have went away.
Of course.
But what I'm saying is, they pushed him into this area where he had to go into alt tech and all these sites to push himself. Now, during those formative years, who would have been on alt tech? It would have been when the censorship wasn't bad on social media, like it was the last 4 or 5 years. Who would have been on alt tech? It wouldn't have been you or me. I use alt tech now. It would have been people who probably were calling for rape and calling for violence, and people who were insane. So number one, because he's going to alt tech in the early stages where that's the main audience, which we're all in Rumble now, maybe you're not, we're all using alt tech, he's going to latch on to a certain group of people and make them feel seen and known, which is normal, that are going to latch on. So those people that got pushed off, they pushed Nick into those scenes. He might have gotten some of those people who felt heard, who felt listened to, but also, can we stop taking random commenters on the internet so seriously? Like, somebody saying to me, I'm going to kill you, you bastard, which I get that kind of stuff all the time, is not a valid death threat. Or I'm going to come to your house, they'll tell me where I live and say I'm going to kill you, and I don't even report it to the police, because the reality is,
so let's go back, because we're derailing.
No, I'm saying this.
What is this guy on
people
about?
Really, because they can't beat Nick, they focus a lot on his followers, which he would even condemn the toxicity of them. Because if I have followers and someone says, dude, your followers call me the N-word, I'd say, dude, oh, that's terrible. I would condemn that.
So then I take it back. I agree with both of you. Nick has fomented an audience that threatens to rape and murder people's children.
No, I didn't say he fomented. I'm saying
it's
not
an
him.
audience. I didn't say he did.
I'm saying it's not him, because if there's anybody that follows him that's acting retarded like that, I blame the gatekeepers for, instead of inviting him to the table to discuss, pushed him into the dark parts of the web. And now he's mainstream. His followers are much
Charlie
more normal.
Kirk talked about them back in 2019 was so crazy.
Who was on Right Tech? The people who normally call for rape. What? Yo, what? What type of lore have I missed? Well, I can't really say I missed it. A lot of these people don't believe in marital rape, so I mean, they are calling for rape, yeah, in some ways. Like Prager, who believes that a wife should just put out whenever, and be okay if like a man just like if their husband just forces themselves on them, because they can't force themselves on them because they're married. They put me in the internet ghetto. That's true, honestly. That's true, honestly. That's so freaking true. Yeah, they're like the internet Auschwitz, the internet ghetto. They say this type of stuff a lot, and it's so funny.
Unhuman. They call these people unhuman. They were not real.
And a lot of them are literally
right, so
minors.
My point is, certainly, as a saying goes, on the internet, no one knows you're 14. I'm saying that my point is,
pushed him into the dark parts of the web, and now he's mainstream. His followers are much to the table. Police, because the reality is, because they can't beat Nick and the toxicity of them, because if I have followers and someone says, dude, your followers call me the N-word, I'd say, dude, oh, that's terrible. I would condemn that.
So then I take it back. I agree with both of you. Nick has fomented an audience that threatens to rape and murder people's children.
No, I didn't say he fomented. I'm saying
no,
it's not
an
him.
audience. I didn't say he did.
I'm saying it's not him, because if there's anybody that follows him that's acting retarded like that, I blame the gatekeepers for, instead of inviting him to the table to discuss, pushed him into the dark parts of the web.
So they don't. So why do they follow him? Just for fun? Just for fun? Is he the only outlet that they have? What does that mean? If he doesn't give them anything that they want to hear, why in the world would they be following him? Okay, so he does appeal. He does appeal to Groiper rapists. He does appeal to N-word rapist 223. Okay, he appeals to that guy. He appeals to Hitler rapist. Hitler rapist 1488. That guy who follows Nick, he actually is a product of the system of the internet ghetto that the gatekeepers of the far right put Nick into, and that's why he has to act that way, because there's no other way that they could express themselves besides hitting the follow button on him and watching his streams and donating him money. You see, so it's not even his fault. This is advanced cocksucking, you know what I mean? This guy is like, he's doing it crazy style. Dude, he's doing it crazy. He's doing it from the back, man. That's wild. I'm going, this is craziness. He's slurping on it like it's his birthday. The attempts to downplay every single, he's not like a child anymore, right? He's a grown man. He's in his 20s. He's older than me, actually. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but Fuentes is even older than me. I'm younger than him. By a couple, like less than a year, I think, a couple months, but yeah. Yeah, like it's wild. Like he's a man now. He is an adult, and they're treating him like the biggest baby, like kid gloves. I don't know. Is it because they don't want death threats from his community? Or what is he being controlled? Maybe it's not Jews that control the world. Maybe it's actually white Hispanic boys who control the world. Maybe it's them. They're scared. They're scared of what could happen to them when the white Hispanic boys all like bond together and like is to grab each other's hand, like grab each other's wrists and ankles and form the white mecha droid to absolutely demolish Tim Pool and his whole studio. Yeah, he's licking and flicking and everything, man.
The way that like Charlie Kirk talked about them back in 2019 was so
called them unhuman. They called these people unhuman. They were not real.
And a lot of them are literally
right, so
minors.
My point is, certainly, as a saying goes on the internet, no one knows you're 14. I'm saying that I don't believe people who genuinely agree with Nick's point of view are hunting people, like going to people's profiles and threatening to rape their children. I think that's someone trying to smear and make Nick look bad. But if I could be wrong about that,
do you think there's like autistic teenagers who are like, I think using like some sort of like a scrambler of an idea?
Now they're gonna lean on the mental illness crisis in the United States for why Nick's fans are so bad. What? They're gonna pull everything out of the books. Everything out of the books. Okay, maybe it's the feds. Maybe it's the leftist sock puppet accounts. Maybe it's actually the right that makes his fans that bad, and they are actually his fans, but it's not his fault. Maybe actually it's the mental illness crisis in America that makes them like this, and it's not his fault either. And they're all 14-year-olds using NordVPN.
Seeing what they can get away with.
Scramble of an IP. You make a fake Twitter account. You make a fake profile on Instagram. What are you talking about?
I was more just talking about emailing people because that's what I've seen.
Look, it's really simple. I just assumed that. Because I don't watch Nick's stuff, I assumed that he was telling people.
Yeah, dude, so true. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't do nothing. Dude, Nick didn't do nothing. We used to be Vikings and shit. He didn't do nothing. Hands up, don't ban. Hands up, don't ban. He didn't do nothing. We used to be Vikings. Despite making up 25% of the Twitter population, conservatives make up 75% of the bans. Curious, isn't it? They all look a certain way too, don't they?
People not to do this, and his fans. But okay, so that's why my point is, it seems strange then that Nick would say to my fans, don't do this, and then they would. That says to me, they're probably just leftists trying to make it look bad running suck accounts. But if you guys think that's too far-fetched, then I'll just defer to you and say Nick's audience sends death threats and rape threats to people's children.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
that's your position,
yes.
Mary? Wait, you think groypers threaten to rape children regularly?
Yes.
I don't really pay attention to.
Actually, yes, because they don't believe in the age of consent. Like, actually, unironically, yes, they do. Like, they're like, when we finally get control of society, the groypers are like, they want to finally be able to. When they're 30, get it when it's fresh and scoop up their 15, 16, 17-year-old bride. Yeah, actually. Yeah, they don't believe in the age of consent. Yeah, of course.
What groypers are doing.
Yeah, Al-Qaeda, man.
Was there somebody that?
I really don't know who you're referring to.
I'm not going to. There's a couple.
Wait, who did they threaten?
Is this the same girl we're thinking of?
Who did they threaten?
Kids?
There's a few people I'm not going to mention because they'll get more rape and death threats. I don't.
Yeah, you
think,
don't have to mention them.
Well, I have no idea.
I don't think the rape and death threats are coming from Nick's fans. I think it's someone trying to smear him to make sure that shows don't want to associate with him because they're scared of getting rape and death threats. But I will say, I'm wrong. You're right.
No,
Nick's audience sends death threats to people's children.
I just don't think on the internet.
Oh my gosh, he's trying to put it off. He's trying to be a kind of centrist, but also put it off on them. So he doesn't get the rape and death threats. he's scared. he's scared. Oh no, dude. Bro's terrified. Tim is so heated when defending his neutral position. Tim obviously is a bit too sensitive when guests bring up a certain little foreign country and their influence operations in the United States. Haha. Oh man, this is sick. This is grody. Tim slipping. Elijah spitting. His whole comment section's coming out against him, man. Also, this isn't very. It's not very, accurate. This add the like and dislike back. So we don't actually know how bad this is. So
internet, like. This may come off, maybe I'm from the original internet, but I'm from the day where everybody called each other the N-word with the hard R on Xbox Live. And you're going, so your audience says they're going to rape, your audience says that people are going to, or let's take this back. Microsoft's customers, people who use Microsoft products and play Halo online, are Microsoft supports rape. I'm saying Microsoft supports people are going to rape, your mothers.
Let's slow down right now.
Yeah.
Getting a phone call or getting emails and getting messages where
Nick Fuentes to Microsoft. Okay. Sure.
They post an address and say they're going to rape your children is messed up.
Well, I will say, Microsoft letting those people do that on their platform is Microsoft condoning what they do. It's actually the opposite way around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Nick's fans are doing that.
Yeah, we can tell that
someone who really like Nick or would be a real fan and isn't autistic and retarded wouldn't do that. Yes, that is true.
So who's doing it? It must be someone trying to make it.
There could be people that enjoy him still. There are normal people who like Nick, and there are weird people who like Nick. And why is that so hard to believe?
So then I will stop, and we can move on, and I defer to Mary and agree. Nick's fans send rape threats to people's children.
Do that to you sometimes, like, oh, he watched Tim Pool and he did this, and like this person like watched Candace Owens and they shot up Christ Church.
This is literally my point. They're not his fans. I don't understand why you both are arguing that Nick's fans are doing this. Viewers.
I guess it's just a definition of fan. Like you can't control who's your fan, basically. So I'm sure there's some crazy people.
I'm saying they hate him. They want to hurt him.
I would say they don't know that they're doing that, but yes, they're hurting him.
You're more likely
if you're doing that, stop doing that to you. If you like a creator, I'll just say, if you like a creator and you're trying to support them, don't threaten to rape and kill their enemies.
If it's a sock account pretending to be a groyper, it's more likely to be a Fed than a leftist, right?
What's the difference?
I don't even necessarily know what to say all the time. They're just, this is critical levels of yapping that I'm just, I don't even know a big difference. Well, once again, you got to remember, everybody's a Fed. Everyone's a Fed. That's something that you got to understand. Tim Pool calls Allen, Texas shooter footprint a psyop and blames it on multiculturalism. Yeah, that did absolutely happen. He was like, actually, it was multiculturalism that did it, and it's a psyop, and he's not my fan. Yeah, he even said the shooting was funny too. And then when brought up about it, when he said it was a psyop, what he meant was, he goes like, actually, I didn't say the event was a psyop. I meant the people talking about it was the real psyop. Okay. All right, Captain Dumbass. Actually, all my viewers are feds. You know what? I was thinking, like, what am I gonna name the community? You know, what are community members going to be called? Like, I only came up with a group, like how to refer to all of you all. Like, all of you viewers are the frenzy. But I think we should call you all feds. I think that really works out. You know, Allie, she calls her viewers porn bots. I think you all should be feds. Chat, what do you guys think? What's up, my feds?
Because the feds are trying to entrap, I guess, the genuine fans into criminalizing themselves.
Right. So my point ultimately is it's someone trying to get him banned or get people to dissociate with him because they don't like what he brings. When look, I'll tell you this. You talk to any podcaster and they know the moment you say Fuentes, they're in for a world of hurt because they're going to get attacked relentlessly. And that's why people don't want him on their show.
Just because of ego or what?
No, because Fuentes' followers cause economic damage to
any podcaster. I'm going to be honest with you. When I mention his name, everything is perfectly fine. Sometimes you even get better views. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Especially that cum chip searching one that we did where he allegedly tried to make the moves on that poor little Nazi boy that he diddied from from Kansas and had live in his basement. I remember that one.
Businesses that mention his name. Wow. It's not even about whether, like, the moment his name comes up on a podcast, people know it's like, okay, call the security guards. We're going to need 2 extra guys. It's going to cost another $100,000.
Was that what you're going to do now?
So I'm not going to speak specifically.
Okay, so what about the people that actually show up places and follow him when he goes around and does stuff? Like at CPAC, are those people just feds and leftists pretending to be his supporters too? Or those like the or those his supporters? Actually, again, and they don't actually have Twitter accounts, and if they do, all the Twitter accounts are badass and they're super sick and epic and polite and really nice.
As to Nick, but I can tell you that when his name comes up on the show, it causes problems for us. For me, I'm willing to say it on the show because I'll tell people what's going on. But this is the reality that a lot of shows won't tell you. They're going to be like, if you mention him on the show, I'm going to have to deal with it and call a security guard. We're going to get phone calls, we're going to get emails, and then we're going to have to call the police. Then we're going to have a security guard 24 hours. That's going to cost, like, big shows. If you're talking about 24-hour security this could be millions of dollars. And so a lot of
it's almost like we're starting to realize that this guy is an actual problem and why nobody actually really wants to associate with him. And it's not because of his big brain ideas that no one could possibly ever outdo. It's because he's a piece of shit and everybody who follows him is an even bigger shitter somehow. It's crazy. It's almost like everybody who has an interaction with this guy that isn't 100% cordial and even if it is always horrible. Wow. He's almost starting to get it. He's almost getting it, but maybe they're all feds and leftists, actually.
People are just...
If that's the case, then he has more feds that follow him than fans.
It's like, it's easy for a smaller YouTuber, smaller podcast, where it's like a guy in a small production team, but for bigger companies, they won't go anywhere near Nick because of this. And that's why I'm like, I don't think
they won't go because of this. Yeah, it's definitely because of this and not all the other stuff that he says.
I had problems for having on my show. Like, I'm not going to get into the details, but like, yeah, there was even a lawsuit involved that was in part mentioned and was largely mentioned, the problem of having Nick Fuentes on, and I've seen that is true. So having Nick Fuentes on, I would say having Nick Fuentes on has hurt my life financially and caused problems for me, but to me it's more the ethics, but I don't blame anyone because I have lost a lot of money over the years. Even recently, I
holy crap, is this guy the fucking devil? Why everything he touches turns to ash? What is happening? Yeah, the ethics of white supremacy. Dude, everybody who interacts with this guy has problems. This guy is a piece of shit, man. Just say it how it is, apparently, or just not talk about him. Which one is it gonna be? That's actually wild. Everybody realizes that when this guy, he's actually poison to everybody who he interacts with. Yeah, honestly, if that's the case, I hope you all talk about him more. I hate the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you dress.
I lost 6 figures because of my position on Israel on so to get a good investment into my show. We have a new project we're working on. I can talk about that a little bit later. But the people were just very pro-Zionist, and they didn't want to put the money involved. And I just said, look, I'm not going to change my view on this subject. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm saying what I think is true, and we're going to stick to that. I've always had Nick on knowing that it could cause problems. It did cause problems. So I don't blame people who don't. And this is where I think people that don't have anything to lose become self-righteous. And this is why I don't judge people. Because you know what? Losing shit or having problems in your life, or even just losing an advertiser because you wanted to have a guest on your show. Most shows, their goal is not free speech. Their goal is not to talk to controversial figures. Their goal is to make money and to make entertainment. And if that entertainment gets in the way of making money, then they don't want to have them on. So I don't blame people whose goal is to make money not having them on.
We only have a few minutes, and I do want to read some super chats. And you do got Australian gifts, which is a total 180 in the conversation. But two things happen when you have Nick Fuentes on the show. The first is you get security threats. And this means that for anyone who's got employees.
Yeah, like in CPAC, how that's a big reason why they don't let him in or any of those right-wing shows, because every other time that a show happens and he's involved in some way, even like tangentially, there's like bomb threats, there's death threats, and then they have to have extra security. Just like that guy, like I said earlier, who threatened to bomb CPAC in Florida, and then they found CP on his computer when they had to go get him. That's just the life that you live when you're a conservative content creator, I guess. You always have the looming poison, the stink cloud that is always over you. This kid. Oh, talk shows love money. Whoa, yeah, intellectual juggernaut. Yeah, right.
And insurance, you now have an obligation to spend what could be hundreds of thousands of dollars because of those threats, and you don't know how long that will last. Second is the advertisers get attacked, which means you won't even have the money to hire the security in the first place. My point, and then we'll go to super chats and your gifts just to wrap things up, is I don't really believe that Nick's fans are destroying him this way. I think it's the people who hate him who are trying to cause problems to make that happen. But maybe I'm wrong. How about you bring up your goodies while I pull super chats?
Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to say this, but first I give a nice gift. I brought for the group here a Cape Byron Australian single malt whiskey. Sorry guys, I'm a little under the.
That is wild, dude. Holy crap. Bro's getting eviscerated. Well, that's Tim. That's Tim, apparently. Oh, and they're calling him a snake and a loser? Holy crap.
No, not that one. Oh, no, don't bring us on the show. I don't give a fuck. Says, we all bring you on because no one will debate. Shut the fuck.